What we're about to do is probably going to end up being a series. This will be part one. I have 5 towels laid down, and on those towels, I have a bunch of my tools. At all times, this is what I have either on my counter or in my drawers. I'll go through it by towel. We'll start with this towel. Spoons, silver plated. These are my plating spoons, sauce spoons. A quick story, when I was a young cook, I always used these stainless spoons, the ones that you buy at the restaurant store. And I worked at Michael Mina, and the sous chefs called me out about how bad my spoons were. And I'm like, what's wrong with my stainless steel spoon? And I look over and all the chefs have their bain maries filled with these vintage silver plated spoons. And I'm like, what's up with that? Like, why do you use those? And it was explained to me, and now I realize it's the cup. These vintage spoons were made with a certain shape that has a really nice cup, holds more sauce, and the tip is much more fine point than this. And so that allows you to get more precision when you're saucing. And then silver plated spoons like a Lady Hamilton, for example, pastry chefs love them for quenelles. So this is my Lady Hamilton pouch. I keep them separate because I don't want them to get lost. I have 3 sizes. I got the large ones. So these are big boys. You could tell Lady Hamilton by this specific design. I got my medium. This is more of the quenelle spoon for me, especially if I'm doing a tasting menu. The portion size is really nice if you're serving a tasting menu cake or whatever. You have your small Lady Hamiltons, which again are great for quenelles for a smaller portion. Sauces, fine work, things like that. These are all really good conditioned spoons, which is why I keep them separate in my little spoon pouch. All right, moving on to spoons. Stainless steel, perforated, obviously, if you want liquid to pass through, or oil. This spoon is from Gestura, if I'm saying that right. They make tweezers and different tools. A friend gave me this, a chef friend from San Francisco gifted this to me. This is an exact tablespoon in measurement, so if you have a use for that. I haven't fell in love with it yet. I do love holding it. I love the way it feels, but using it in the kitchen, I haven't fell in love with. It kind of has this like edge to it that goes around the cup. Maybe it'll grow on me. Just another stainless steel, perforated. I think these are from Mercer, big old stainless steel black. Some other spoons. I've had these since like 2009. Blue, red, and white. These are from Matfer, the company. And I like this because when you're making old school red sauce, you're gonna use a wooden spoon like grandma. That absorbs, and that could be an issue. The red sauce, you know. These have had a lot of use. And then this will be like, you know, a blue one for blue sauce. A chef fork or a kitchen fork. A meat fork. I don't use this anymore. Twirling pasta, that's probably the only thing I would use this for nowadays. Tongs and tweezers, Global. Well made. These are solid. They come to a point. They don't get bent. They don't get offset. I use these the most turning on my food processor because the button's broke. That's 99% of the time of when I use these, but I like keeping them in my bain marie. Really well made, great dexterity. You can plate with them. You can turn scallops. They're cool. What are you gonna do? And then tweezers, I only keep 3. I'm not a big tweezer guy, but I am when I'm plating. I don't cook with tweezers. For the love of God, I hate when I hand a cook a pair of tweezers, and then for the whole service, he's running around like turning everything with a pair of tweezers. Only use these to plate. Rarely do I cook with them. These are the offset. I like these a lot. I'm more of a fan of the straight tweezers. I like the straight tweezers a little bit better. These are all from JB Prince. And then bird's beak. I'm not a big fan of bird's beak. Maybe doing like little micro leaves or something like that for plating. Splinter right of your finger maybe, I don't know. Fish bone tweezers, these are a must if you're doing whole fish or sides of fish. The only thing I don't like, they're kind of sharp, and so it'll actually cut the bone while you're trying to pull the bone out. Wooden tweezers or wooden tongs are the best for plating gold leaf on like desserts. If you've ever seen like gold leaf on desserts, gold leaf is so incredibly hard to work with. It bundles up, it's expensive, so like you end up wasting it. It doesn't stick to the wood as it would metal tweezers. That's the only reason I got these. There might be some other uses, but really cool for that if you're into that. Thermometers, there's some great ones out there. This is calibrated, it's accurate. There's some others that read faster, but this works for me. This is my deep fry thermometer. I have that around. Those are good to have if you're gonna deep fry. This is my other thermometer. And you're like, wait, that's not a thermometer. This is a cake tester. I don't test cakes with this. I use this for temping proteins. Going back to Michael Mina, when I would look over at the guy on the meat station, which was the most difficult station in the kitchen, he had his ducks and his lambs and his beef and all of his proteins seared and rested, and he would probe them, he'd pull it out, and he would do this, and he was temping it. So medium rare isn't gonna burn your lip. So what he was looking for was a nice warm feel. That's a real accurate way of temping your meat. I know it's unsanitary to do it like this, so maybe I'm calling him out. You could also do this move. I like the lip because it really gives me a sense of what the internal temperature is of my proteins. Good old restaurant grade rubber spatula. Had this for a while. I love this black one. It doesn't hold color like turmeric. I think I got it on Amazon. I like the shape. It's a bigger version of the spoon, the spoonula rubber spat. So I love this, and I'll jump right into this. This is my favorite spatula of all time. This is amazing. Amazon has them. Old. I like this because if I'm brushing a product, I don't have to worry about these getting like falling off onto the product, which has happened to me with this piece of crap. But I use this for pasta if I want to brush the pasta, ravioli deal. This is a Barry Callebaut chocolate spatula, rubber spat. This came from Barry Callebaut. Chocolatiers like these for cleaning the bowl, tempering chocolate. I use it for everything. Really like the shape. It's not a cup, so it's rounded on both sides. Really nice. This is the wifey's. This is beat up and we should throw this away. This is also the wifey's and I like this one too. I actually use this a lot. Just a good old pink rubber spat. This is not a spatula. This is called a Matford. I love these. I treat it like a spoon. I'm stirring mirepoix in a rondeau, or I'm stirring something in a saucepan like aromatics, onions, things like that. There's different sizes. I just picked this one up to replace my old one. Yeah, these are dope. Cheese graters, microplanes, old school microplane. I use this probably mostly for garlic and cheese, but these are really good to have on hand. I don't like box graters for a lot of reasons. They're bulky and I don't know, they get dull. So this is one of my box grater replacements, just a good old grater, a little thicker obviously than this. This is from Microplane. Microplane makes some of the best because they stay sharp. So this has a bigger grate, obviously, rubber, well made. I actually have a lot more than this, but these are the ones I use the most. Fish spatula from Wusthof. I've had this since culinary school. I hate fish spatulas. I never use this. I like looking at it for some reason in the bain marie. These are meant for like this part to be angled to your right, but I bent it upside down. And if I'm gonna use it, I want this to angle out to my left. I just think this is awkward. And overall, if you're turning fish, this ends up damaging the product. It makes it fall apart. It just, things get caught in here. I don't use this at all. Maybe to clean my cast iron pans if there's stuff stuck to it. Maybe that's what I use this for, but let me know your thoughts on fish spatulas. This is my favorite spatula of all time. And as far as the shape, stainless steel, this is from Dexter and Russell, brass rivets. I just love the shape, angle, everything about it. I use this every day almost. I'm gonna come over here to bench scrapers. So let's go to my right. Hope you can see this. Going back to Matford. Matford makes this. Matford makes this. And they also make this bench or bowl scraper. This is the best one I found. If you found a better one, let me know. Finer blade. Other bench scrapers or bowl scrapers, they'll drag the product across your cutting board. They'll smear the herbs. If you're cleaning your cutting board of product, they just end up smearing as opposed to scooping. This will basically clean your cutting board while scooping product, especially fresh herbs, things like that. Love this. I love that it fits in my apron. If I buy an apron, it must have this pouch because this always lives here, always. Metal, stainless steel, old school vintage one, pasta, gnocchis. I use this quite a bit as well. I don't know where I found this. I think at a thrift store. I never see these this wide. I love this. Absolutely love this. Cleaning bigger surface areas. If I made a bunch of pasta, it's a lot wider. I can get all that flour up. Gnocchis, pasta, things like that. Big boy, thick oyster knife for your bigger oysters. And then you have your smaller oyster knife for your smaller oysters. That's kind of important. If you're doing a lot of oysters, you want to have two sizes because they come in different sizes. And then a clam knife. If you're shucking clams, it is a blade, but it's not sharp, so it won't cut you. But it is shaped like a paring knife and nice and durable. These are Dexter and Russell. All of them are Dexter and Russell. This is a tea infuser. You've probably seen these for tea. I use it once in a while if I want to steep aromatics and I don't want to strain it out later. So I don't have to make a bigger one, but these are really cool to have. Some chefs will take like dust, you know, like a spice blend or a dust, and they'll dust the plate with one of these. I don't do that a whole lot. Maybe desserts, I'd use this for that. I have a bunch of trivets. I'm only showing you the two I use the most. Cheap aluminum piece of crap, but it works. And then cast iron trivets are always sexy. These are fun. I worked in restaurants where if you put, even if it was clean and cold, like a saute pan on a cutting board, the sous chefs would dive on me. When I worked in Midtown Manhattan at Waldy Malouf's Beacon, it's no longer open. Shout out to Waldy Malouf. He's a legend in the chef game. That was the rule. Pans never touch a cutting board. It could be clean, brand new out of the box, and they'd still yell at you. Whatever. So since then, I'm like trivets all day. Got my wooden spoons. I mean, I don't need to say much here. This is your old school, well-made wooden spoon. I'll do my sauce work with this, risottos, things like that. And these I mainly use for if I'm doing onions, caramelized onions, French onion soup, because it's flat and I can get, basically you're cleaning the pan as the onions cook when you use something like this, making French onion soup. And then let's move into whisks real quick, guys. When it comes to whisks, I keep about 3. This is big, thicker whisk. You know, if I'm doing bechamel or I'm doing some thicker sauce, I'll use this. It's gonna stand up, it's not gonna bend as much, but I don't love those as much as I love these. I like a thin whisk. I like small ones too. This looks like it came out of a Fisher-Price box, but when you're using a smaller pan, it fits, better dexterity, the list goes on. So I like smaller whisks for the most part. So I use these more than I use anything else. And then maybe someone in the comments can tell me if they've used this or they have a use for it. It's obviously a whisk, very unique shape. I don't know where I found this. You can hang it, very well made, very stiff. I'm guessing in a cylindrical pan, you're gonna get more of the corners as you're whisking. But let me know in the comments if you know. I see a lot of high-end chefs using these, so let me know your thoughts if you have any. When it comes to peelers, this is the only peeler I would recommend. Culinary school, old school. I have about 10 of these, but this is the one I like. I don't use the granny peelers, I can't. This is a stainless steel version. I found this at a garage sale. Super heavy, it feels super well made. I haven't even used this yet. I just picked it up. This thing got some weight to it, man. It feels really well made, and excited for that. Chef press. I got these in San Francisco when I worked there in 2013. Back then, this company was kind of new. Different weights, different sizes. When you're searing a piece of fish, when you want to weigh something down in the pan, they interlock. You could use a bunch of them. You could just fan them out and have, like, if you're doing a big loin of fish, you could like weigh it down as you cook it to get that crispy glass seared skin. If I'm sous videing a bunch of stuff and I want to weigh it down, these are great for that. The water bath, these are really cool. You can find them somewhere online. Let's go scissors. These are Victorinox scissors. These are well made. These are solid. They make very expensive scissors. I've never had a use for something nicer than this. This works for me. Good quality. They stay sharp. I think you could take them apart. These are made in Japan. These are a Japanese pair of scissors. Joyce Chen. These are for finer work. Like if I'm going through flesh of a fish, or if I'm cutting through some fish bones, or in restaurants, I would use these a lot. These are very unique. These are carbon steel shears. They're very small, and this is more Michelin status. Like in Michelin kitchens in San Francisco, we would clip our herbs with this because the herbs had to be impeccable, and so we would clip off our oregano leaves with this. I don't know if they use this for weed trimming. I got these at Town Cutler, I believe, years ago. Carbon steel, so they will rust, but they're very sharp. I never use them, but they're cool to look at. I have a ton of ladles. This one stays in my Bane from Wischdorf. It has a spout. I recommend your ladle have the ounce that it holds, because if you want to get a cup real quick, you could just bang out a cup. I actually love this ladle because it's not so long. It's easy to grab. It sits upside down in a Bain Marie. I use this the most. Really like this, especially at home because I'm not doing a lot of volume. So this is my spider. You'll see these in Asian markets. Raviolis, obviously skimming. I don't use this as much, mostly for deep frying. If I'm deep frying wontons or I'm deep frying anything, this makes its way into deep frying fat, mostly not stocks or broths. This is one of my favorite tools on the table right now. This is a very fine mesh skimmer. And I got this in San Francisco a while back. When you spend 3 days making demi-glace and you want to skim off fat and impurities and not take all that liquid gold with you, this is what this is for. Basically, I only use it for skimming, mainly. Amazing, amazing tool. Love it. And grab some spatulas. Vintage store, I picked this up. I bent it on purpose. So instead of using this for fish, I'll use this for fish or scallops or something like that. These are fun. Sometimes I'll do some dessert work with it. Really nice, fine blade, nice and flexible. Love this tool. This is another thrift store find. I think this is carbon steel, so you have to keep it dry, but it bends beautifully. I'd love to put like a fun handle, like a custom wood handle on this one day, but Town Cutler offset spatula. This was actually a gift from Justin Kana. Thank you for that. This goes back a long time ago, but these are really well made by hand, I believe. Very sturdy. I use this for plating a lot. I have a lot of these, just a cheap old offset pastry knife. I have big ones, small ones. This one's my small one. And then also I think at Town Cutler, I bought this guy. This is carbon steel offset spatula. Very unique shape. They're probably hard to find. This tapers a little more instead of being straight out. Carbon steel, I use this for like spreading pate. I use this mainly for plating. If you have an idea of where to use this best, let me know. This is really cool. I keep it in my kit. This is a must-have in my kitchen. This is very old. Meat mallet, flat and bladed. I only use this for pounding chicken or veal, cutlets, karage, schnitzel. If you're doing a schnitzel, these are nice to have. Don't do it on your counter. You'll crack your counter. Make sure you have some wood underneath there. Flames. This is an Amazon find, butane. I find myself, it fits in my kit a lot better. I have a big boy, like the professional one that I use really for like starting my beachaton or starting a wood fire or bruleeing, creme brulee, things like that. But this is nice to have for a quick, easy access. It looks pretty on the counter, and love this guy. I do have my Burnzo-Matic. This is my favorite one by far, but when you're traveling and you're doing a private event or something, this is much easier. Obviously, this is more powerful, but these two things I literally can't, it sounds weird, but I can't live without them, especially this guy. I use this a lot actually, especially during the summer outside. Great to have. Butcher's twine, this is just, this cap comes off, you keep your butcher's twine. I tape it because this likes to make its way back in. I use butcher's twine quite a bit, and this is just nice to have on the counter. It's not bulky, and you don't have twine rolling all over the kitchen. So this is nice to do. I didn't talk about this because it didn't fit. Another microplane, starting to crack because I use this a lot. I really like the blades here. They're kind of wide and thin. I like the way it grates cheese for finishing dishes or on pasta, and I've used the crap out of it, as you can see. So this is, I have to replace this because this is one of my favorite microplanes. We didn't talk about tongs, which go along with the tweezers. Well-made, high quality, wider grip. You don't want the ones that have the lock and the thing that goes around to keep them closed. Don't do that. If you want to keep them closed in your drawer, get a rubber band. A little more closed grip. These are the ones I actually like the most. It's not wiggling, which is most important. Second pair, in a short pair. And I store them on the oven handle. Keep a towel on the handle of your oven if it's stainless steel so it don't scratch, but that's where these live. I don't even put them in my drawer. Did we miss anything? Did I talk about this? This is my skimming spoon, vintage, silver plated skimming spoon. This is what I skim my stocks with. In culinary school, chef trick, he used to bend his spoon and that was his skimming spoon. I don't like doing that anymore. This is small enough. I'm not gonna be taking a whole lot of product with me, just that fat or whatever's on top of the broth or stock. And love this little guy. Cool little find. Let's do some runner-up situations. So here's I'll show you my Bain Marie's. A lot of this stuff you see here lives in something like this. This is a Bain Marie I got at TJ Maxx. Stone, says chef at work, whatever. I got a Le Creuset Bain Marie. This is the other one that's always on the counter. I have metal ones too, stainless steel, but those are the two I keep outside. Thomas Keller uses one. I think it's Le Creuset. I like that shape better. I don't have any. In fact, let's load this back up. This is for my small, shorter stuff, so we could even, I'll show you, pack some stuff up. My mat fur goes in here. That's this Bain right here. And this big one tends to get overfilled, so we're gonna not do that right now. So there's my second Bain Marie. This sits at the counter at all times. That was a lot. We're gonna be doing more of this. If you like the video, let me know what you think, please, in the comments. Like, subscribe, I think you have to say that nowadays. Let me know what you wanna see next. We're thinking about doing knives or cookware or appliances. I'm not sure, but I have a lot of stuff, so we have a lot to go over. Make sure I wanna hear you guys in the comments. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. And let me know what you thought of this video. Should we change anything? Should we not change anything? Now I gotta put all this back. I forgot to talk about the towels. So if you know, you know, this is the CIA towel. At the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York, this was the standard issue side towel. And this was the color, the green. So this is the CIA green towel. Now, everyone asked me, where do you get these? I looked everywhere, but I got it on a different website. If I think of it or find it, I'll link it or DM me or message. Drop it in the comments if you want to know where I got these. I'll figure it out for you. They come in all these different colors, and I just love these. These are my most favorite side towel. I don't love the green color, even though it matches my apron here, but blue, they have a red one. I got 4 colors. Love these, love the design. And I'm kind of romantic because, yeah, it was culinary school and there's a lot of memories behind this CIA green towel. This one's starting to get a little beat up, but these are my fave. All right, while I'm here, I don't know where I got this. I've had this forever. This is a ricer. I use this when I'm making mashed potatoes and gnocchis. Now the video's done. Now we're done. All right, we're not done. I promise this is the last one. Tape dispenser. Get one that's heavy. This is like cheap and old, and I got it on eBay or something. Everyone's seen the bear, so we know that you're supposed to label with painter's tape, right? When I pull this, it doesn't lift up like the cheap ones do. This is on my counter 24/7. If you label your ingredients or your containers with tape, especially painter's tape, this is a must-have. These come out so you can replace them. They're super easy to replace. I label everything with tape, and so these are so nice to just quick run over, grab a piece of tape, grab a Sharpie. Can't recommend this enough. Now the video's done. And this is waffles. So he's not a cooking utensil, but he does taste test, and he is a connoisseur of New York strip, specifically dry age. And he watches every cooking video I do right there from the couch. So he's my biggest fan, and he really enjoyed this video. And he wants to know what you thought about it, because he said he really liked it, right, Luke? He said he wants me to do the knives next. Say bye.
Good boy. You're going to be famous poker.